Yes, as usual, we will run through the headlines during the first half of the show and come back to look at some of the stories in details. All right, we start off with the Punch newspapers. Reps probe tax law tweak. PDP demands suspension. That's from the Punch newspaper. On insecurity, Tinubu pledges state police to U.S., European allies. And Senate confirms Fani Kayode, Omokri, 60 others as ambassadors. South African police shoot Nigerian man dead at traffic stop. And NSA alerts governors to beef up security. Court okays Malami's further detention by EFCC. Katsina reclaims 10 billion naira worth of landed assets from Kaduna FCT. And Tinubu appoints Oseni, NERC chairman drops Ramat. Boy's APC slums during meeting dies in hospital. And 149 firms retain tax holidays under new law, federal government. An ADC faction suspends Musu, 14 others for anti-party activities. All right, we move on to the Vanguard newspaper now, and the headline here reads, far-reaching reforms coming on the oil sector. Uncertainty over NAV aircraft departure to Portugal after release in Burkina Faso. An Electoral Act reps back 2-year jail term, 5 million naira fine for vote buyers, sellers. All right, still staying with the Vanguard newspaper now. NIPC attracts 10 billion naira investment, over 5,000 jobs in 2025. Nigeria's trade with ECOWAS countries now rise 43% to 6.9 trillion naira. And PSC promotes 1 DIG, 7 AIGs, and others. Jurisdiction row stalls Alaba Market eviction case. And troops kill commander terrorist in Mandara Mountains. Foil bitter infiltration. Gige storms APC caucus meeting in Aso Villa. 6 ex-PDP governors attend APC caucus meeting in Villa. Senator Ireti Kingibe dumps Labour Party, joins ADC. PDP caretaker committee backed by Wike takes charge, dissolves 14 state executives. And reps approve harsher penalties for vote buying, introduce electoral reforms. I assure US, EU will establish state police system, President Tinubu. And Tinubu to governors, obey Supreme Court and local government their allocation. And NAV C-130 aircraft resumes flight to Portugal after release in Burkina Faso. Senate confirms Jimo Ibrahim, Ibas, Yakubu, Reno, 60 others as ambassador designates. And Lagos to close island roads for Lagos Auto Fest 2025. Issues travel advisory. Arrest, prosecute those funding insecurity, labor demands, protests across state. All right, we move on to The Nation newspaper now. Tinubu to governors obey verdict on council autonomy. And on insecurity, Army to overhaul training schools curricula. Reps approved 2026-2028 MTEF propose 54.46 trillion naira spending for next year. And 4.5 billion naira house row, senators threaten to sue NDIC. Police Service Commission elevates 775 officers. States on high alert for the Christmas period. PDP failed me, says Fubara. All right, going to the Sun newspaper now. Northern Khan begs Tinubu for safe Christmas, New Year seasons. I didn't think twice before joining APC, Governor Fubara. And governors pledge heightened security measures this Yuletide, sustain NG Cares funding. Tinubu saved Nigeria from total collapse. That's the national chairman of the APC. And federal government reopens all 47 closed FGCs, that's the federal government colleges, guarantees student safety. And on solid minerals, Alaki commends GOMEC inducts 259 new professionals. All right, we move on to the cable newspaper now. And President Tinubu is saying, I'm confident state police will be created to improve security. PDP demands 6 months extension of tax law implementation to allow reps probe discrepancies. Still on the cable newspaper, Tinubu, Shetima, governors present as APC holds first caucus meeting under UADA. Ojodo counters Charles Omole's claims, says Osibajo discussed presidential ambition with Buhari. And Reps pass MTEF retained $64 per barrel oil benchmark. And Kwara Assembly suspends lawmaker for secretly recording closed-door meeting. And Ireti Kingibe picks ADC membership card, completes defection from LP. Otedola acquires additional 14.8 billion naira shares in First Holding Company. Jonathan's community leaders back Tinubu for second term. And NNPC nets 445 billion naira from PSC profit oil in 11 months. And Senate panel screens Tinubu's nominees for the NMDPRA and NUPRC leadership. All right, the Tribune newspaper here says Plateau Governor Mutfwang joins APC. Senate confirms 34 carrier, 30 non-carrier ambassadors. And alleged 2.2 billion naira fraud, court grants Ngige bail. Next is this day newspaper now. In major diplomatic reset, Senate confirms 64 ambassadors. And Gbenga Hashim says, we are not intimidated by attacks on PDP. Human rights, regardless of background, circumstances, remain our mandate. That's from the National Human Rights Commission. 4 persons to die by hanging over kidnapping in Akwa Ibom State. The Guardian newspaper is next now. Tinubu convenes APC caucus in Aso Villa ahead of NEC 2027 calculations. 6 ex-PDP governors attend APC caucus meeting in Aso Villa. And on insecurity, FG reopens 47 unity schools. Northern youths call for Matawale's sack. Ondo deep sea port will attract bigger vessels than Lagos port, says Governor Ayedatiwa. And Tinubu reconstitutes NEC board, charges members on reforms. Translate dominance into state police, LG autonomy, Tinubu tells APC. Foundation to promote Africa's economic transformation with SCIP. And Nigeria charts safer navigation route on Calabar-Bakassi corridor. And 2026-2028 MTEF reps approve $64.85 oil benchmark against Senate 60. Anambra communities decry activities of dredgers, lament absence of EIA. And EFCC arrest herbalists with $3.4 million, 280,000 pounds counterfeit notes in Osun, Lagos. And on insecurity, Chief of Army Staff to enhance Army Intel cyber operations. And no casualty in a Edo tanker explosion, says police. Thank God for that. A New Telegraph is next now. Tinubu attends APC National Caucus meeting at Presidential Villa. PDP demands independent probe into alleged disparity in tax law. And Oyetola presents Bakassi Deep Sea Port certificates of compliance to U2. And past state police implement Lagos. Past state police implement local government autonomy, Tinubu tells governors. And reps OK electronic transmission of results, stiffer penalties for vote buying. And a little bit of sport here on the 2026 World Cup. NFF Super Eagles to miss 15 billion naira largesse. Ooh. Daily Trust is next now. New budget as 2025 Appropriation Act lacks. And reps raise presidential campaign expenses to 10 billion naira, governorship to 3 billion naira. Tax alteration, presidency silent as reps raise probe panel. FG securing better future for Niger Delta through PAP scholarships. And NAFDAC destroys 65 billion naira counterfeit expired products in Kano, Oyo. Malami to remain in custody, EFCC custody as court rejects bail application. And rep set up committee in tax laws. I joined APC to thank Tinubu, says Fubara. Okay now. All right, let's move on to penpushing.com now. And the paper leads with the story: Uphold basic traffic rules and regulation. Ogun State Traffic Control Agency tells Celestians ahead of Christmas convocation. Oh, yes. And still staying with penpushing.com. Lagos State College Provost jailed 3 years for forgery. We also have the story here. Governor Mbah appoints new commissioners, reconstitutes boards in Enugu State. And from Enugu to Ogun State, Abeokuta Polo Club set for maiden Polo Festival. Pen-pushing member Araula, first African female drummer, appointed special envoy. Congratulations to her. Ogun State government orders stop work on Padi Arikawe Road following contractors' shoddy construction. And still on penpushing.com, federal road safety calls begin crackdown. Arrest 16 motorists for speeding in Ogun State. Alleged extravagant lifestyle, Farouk resigns as Tinubu names replacement. And Nigerian veteran Nollywood actor Lere Paimo cries out over attempt to deprive him of proceeds on his film. For more on that, you reach out for penpushing.com. We take a short break now, and when we return, Mr. Salman Salami is already sitting in the studio and ready for the second half of the show. We'll take a short break now. When we return, Super Citizen newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM will continue. All right, thank you so much for staying tuned. It's still newspaper review on Citizen 93.7 FM. This is the second half of the show, and as usual, this is where we open the phone lines. They're open already, 0903-2229-797. You can also call us on 0818-2222-205. Don't forget that you can also send us a WhatsApp message on any of the two numbers. And good morning, Mr. Salami.
Very, very good morning to you. And our Super Citizen listeners, realizing that today is the last Friday before Christmas. Very, very good morning to you too.
Yes, good morning to everyone listening to us across the globe. This is Super Citizen 93.7 FM Abuja, and we're doing what we know how to do best, bringing you the best of the stories with the Grandmaster in the studio himself leading this session. Once again, welcome, Mr. Salman Salami.
Welcome to the Super Citizen News Analysis.
And Mr. Salami is the Chief Operating Officer, Citizen 93.7 FM. All right, Mr. Salami, let's start with the Guardian. The caucus of the APC, as the ruling party intensifies internal consultations ahead of key political timelines. The caucus and the NEC meetings were originally slated for December 15 to 16, but were rescheduled to Thursday and Friday to accommodate wider participation to review emerging party priorities. The National Caucus is composed of high-profile party figures, including the President and the Vice President, former APC-affiliated presidents and vice presidents, sitting and former governors, National Assembly leaders, and zonal representatives. Conventionally, the National Caucus meets ahead of the NEC. That's the APC's highest decision-making organ, whose statutory membership include the national chairman and others. Party insiders at the venue described the engagement as strategic and consultative, designed to reinforce cohesion, reaffirm internal discipline, and harmonize positions before the NEC convenes. Mr. Salam.
I respect Chief Odumeka Ojukwu. I have tremendous respect for him because of a lot of things. One of such is this evergreen quotes. We hold these as self-evident truths or self-evident truth. What precisely am I saying? Those who are messing up with their own party should at least go to the ants, O ye slugger. Learn from his ways and be wise. Much as I know that there is a need for a viral opposition in this country, we cannot keep our eyes away from certain things. Look at the way APC is conducting its affairs. They were to meet the NEC, the highest organ of the party. They now said, let us widen it and make more robust consultation. And of course, those of us who have covered politics for close to 4 decades, we know that critical decisions are taken during caucus or at caucus meeting. They held a caucus meeting before the NEC meeting, all in their bid to make sure that everything is in order, that the house is in order, and to improve inclusivity, participatory party affairs, towards having a participatory democracy, and towards having victory. Why am I saying this? If somebody is singing a song, if it is not sweet or melodious, he is hearing it himself now.
He may not know if he's used to off-key.
But the fault is not in our stars,
yes,
but in ourselves. What I'm saying, in summary, is that other political parties in opposition should put their house in order and unite the people in their party with a view to giving APC a very big chase. The beauty of democracy is in having virile opposition, the significant others, or let's have the other voices, so that there will not be complacency of any kind, and the better for the country. What are we saying? That there is a need for other parties to organize themselves well. Yes, it's a multi-party democracy. And there's no way we can have a one-party state in this country. But whoever wants to grieve, let them continue to grieve. But we know that one-party state in this country is not possible. We may have those sleeping parties, which is their own making. And they should not blame anybody for that. There's still some time.
All right, Mr. Salami, I have a lot of takeouts from the meeting yesterday. Yesterday we had the governor of Plateau State arriving, Governor Mutfwang, and that was his first caucus meeting as a member of the APC. And in total, about 6 former governors of the PDP were there, from Fubara to the governor of Delta State, to Akwa Ibom governor, to Bayelsa governors, and all of them, even Taraba State's governor. And you said something that, other parties should take a cue from the APC, how they organize their things. But Mr. Salami, APC is the ruling party. I remember when the PDP too was at the helm of affair, their caucus meeting and their NEC meetings were always like a carnival. You see cars, you see the convoy, shiny cars and security men, everybody scrambling around Wadata House, to be part of that. It was the go-to event in Abuja anytime you had them. But these things go with the parties in charge. Tomorrow, if there's another party in government that is leading the federal government, you will see that everything gravitates towards that party. That's how politicians and power, they are like ants to sugar. Anywhere there is sugar, you will be surprised sometimes how the ants will find their way there. So it's always like that. I agree that we need viable oppositions, but the way we always play our politics, you hardly, the last time I think we had any kind of semblance of opposition was during the days of the ED stroke, the ACN era. That's it. And maybe just before the coming of Buhari, during the APC, the formation of APC, that was it. Yeah, apart from that, each time you had a government, a dominant party that is leading the federal, all the other parties build into insignificance pending the next election cycle. After the 1999 election, you know what happened? The PDP mopped up everywhere, and by 2003, the opposition parties shrunk. And at a point in the southwest, when people say, "Oh, the whole of South is APC, not Central," yes, at a point too, the whole of the southwest, except Lagos, was PDP. It just had one man standing, that was the opposition party. So that's the way we do our politics.
Well, I still want to believe that we can always improve on the way we do our politics. What am I saying? The point is this: political activities should be an all-round thing, all year-round thing. You don't wait until the election year before you begin to do fire service political campaign. No. Once upon a time, APC was in opposition. It was a viable opposition. We knew what Lai Mohammed was doing that time as the spokesperson. What we are saying is simple. Let the opposition party tell us how they are going to do things differently in such a way that they will endear themselves to the Nigerians. We should not say that, yes, because ant will always find his way to where there is sugar. So other ants or other smaller creatures should just resign to fate and hand over their life. That is not the way it should be done. We know what happened to Labour Party in the UK. You must remain in your party and make it a viable and attractive opposition if you believe in ideology and if you are convinced that the pursuit of nobility and principle.
Thank God you said ideology. Mr. Salami talking about the Labour Party in UK. Please, let's not compare oranges with apples. The difference is clear. Let's stay with our own version of our own political party. All right, let's move on, Mr. Salami. There's this story here. I just want us to look at it just briefly. On insecurity, federal government reopens 47 unity schools. The federal government has announced the reopening of 47 unity schools that were earlier closed due to security concerns, following measures taken to strengthen safety within and around the affected institutions. Why did I pick this story? Good. It's good that the schools are reopened, but I was just wondering, random thought, if there were not unity schools, would there be the need to urgently look for ways to secure the place and reopen the schools? Mr. Salami, you know who goes to the unity schools?
They are the federal government colleges. And you see, Lawrence, don't let us repeat things that we've been saying, that George Orwell will always come here.
Yeah.
He lives here.
Every day.
So,
some animals are equal, but some are more equal than others.
Well,
so some schools are equal. All schools are equal, but some are more equal than others.
It won't come from my mouth.
No,
But,
from your deduction. You brought in Animal Farm. No, but on a serious note, Mr. Salami, we are not criticizing the reopening of schools, but we feel that if this for a forceful nature of looking at things, the bigger picture, if we use it for other schools, can you imagine if the Nigerian government says no school in Nigeria will remain closed for 1 week, no matter where the schools are? That would be something of a pride to us.
Let us look at this thing critically. In the first instance, closure of school is an admission of something.
Yes, failure. That's what it means.
And I've been saying it again that no one life is superior to the other. It's academic, I know. But I think the government should spare more than a passing thought to the welfare and well-being of all Nigerians, irrespective of status. If that is done, you will discover that the speed with which they closed the school and ensured that there is security before the reopening should be applied to everything Nigeria in such a way that all Nigerians will feel a sense of belonging, that yes, there is government and the government of Nigeria is behind me. It is then and not until then that Nigerians will be patriotic, because by that you have evoked in them the sense of patriotism. You don't demand patriotism, you command patriotism.
And you earn it today.
Of course.
All right, Mr. Salami, let's move on to the Punch newspaper. Meanwhile, the phone lines are open. You can join our conversation, 0903-2229-797. You can also call us on 0818-222205. We congratulate and we praise the Nigerian government for reopening the Unity schools, but we also hope that there is no Nigerian school, secondary school, that is shut in any part of the country because of fear of insecurity. If the Unity schools can be reopened and security provided for them, security should be provided for other schools across the country. All right, on insecurity, Tinubu pledges state police to U.S. European allies. President Bola Tinubu renewed his push for the creation of state police, revealing that he had assured United States and European partners that he would implement state police. He stressed that state police must happen as part of efforts to improve internal security and strengthen governance at the sub-national level. The president spoke at the 14th National Caucus meeting of the APC. Mr. Salami, the president also enjoined state governors to leave local governments' funds alone and face their state fund.
Well, I have been saying it that local government, being the closest tier of government, should be allowed to function optimally. And how would that happen? It is by allowing the funds, the grant, the allocation meant for them from the federal allocation to go to them directly. And our people too should monitor it. It's one thing to release the fund accruable to them, but it must be used judiciously, and it should be used for what it is meant. And what is it meant for? To develop the place, their local government areas, in such a way that people will not in droves come to the state capitals. They will stay there because whatever is in the state capital is available, and it's even better because you breathe cleaner and fresher air.
Eat fresh food.
Of course.
Less pollution.
That is it. So, state governors should release as a matter of priority the exact amount due to each local government. This joint account, and you are using it on their behalf. Why are they elected in the first instance? please, let's do the correct thing.
Yes, and back to the issue of state police. You know, Mr. Salami, we've said it several times on this program. Yes, desirable as state police is, we should look at all the
merits and demerits
and the discussion. We shouldn't be in too much of a hurry because there are a lot of things. It's not just a white and black thing. We look at the finances, we look at the structures, we look at the enabling laws, we look at the powers, the separation of powers between the state police and the federal police, and we also look at make sure that we have in place checks
and balances
that will that will curb the powers of the executive in the state, so as to make sure that the police institution in the state, as much as possible, is independent and capable of being run like a police institution and not an arm, a youth arm of the state governor, not an extension of the government house. Very, very important, because we seem to have forgotten our history. We seem to have forgotten what happened in the 1960s, how things were before we reverted to the federal police. Yes, we are a federation now. We can have a state police, but then we need to be very, very careful before we go into it.
I still very much believe that there is the need for us to cross the T's and dot the I's.
Yes.
We should not be in a hurry. There are some states that up to today, they don't pay salary, they don't pay pension. They don't pay gratuity, and they will have money to buy guns for state policemen. And the political will to do the right thing, is it there? We know what happened to state independent electoral commissions. Hardly will you find opposition party winning election.
No way.
Well,
if they make a mistake,
I will leave it at that.
If they make a mistake, like in my state a few years back,
I will leave
and
it at that.
the governor will order for a probe. How come one councillor was elected on the part of another political party in the state?
Just imagine.
We have to probe it and see how it happens.
Exactly.
You understand?
Just imagine it.
So it's a very serious problem, because when you arm a group of people without adequate training, without making sure that their allowances and salaries are paid as at when due, then you know that it's a time bomb.
And the mind too.
Yes.
The mind and the mindset.
Very important.
You don't leave power in the hands of somebody who is unstable, somebody who is not well trained, somebody who sees power at whatever level as an instrument of oppression.
All right, Mr. Stanley, let's move on to the new Telegraph now. Reps OK, that's 2027. Reps OK, electronic transmission of results, stiffer penalties for vote buying. The House of Representatives yesterday amended Section 60 of the Electoral Act to compel INEC to approve the electronic transmission of results from polling unit to its INEC result viewing portal in real time, concurrently with physical violations. And this is just as the chairman of the committee said the Electoral Act 2022 was one of the most progressive laws in history. The House also, at the consideration of the report, also in stiffer penalties for vote buying and selling. The lawmakers amended Clause 22 to increase the penalties for vote buying and selling from previous 500,000. The House raised the penalty to 5 million and minimum of 2 years imprisonment for offenders, as well as a 10-year ban from contesting election. The House also, among others, amendment extended the deadline for political parties to submit candidates to INEC from 180 days to 210 days before election.
No, they should make it 1 year. You see, the thing is this. There is the need for us to tidy up our electoral laws. And there is the need to make sure that the reward system is looked into. Ditto the consequence. To me, there is more of impunity in this country. Because there is no consequence. That's why people do some things. There is need for consequence. If there is consequence and you know that, yes, you will be punished if you go against the law. We are not in short of good laws.
Exactly.
Whether Electoral Act, whether Constitution, the question is those operating the laws and what we make of the violations of the laws.
Very important.
Very, very important. Lawrence, we may tinker if there is need for us to tinker to amend the laws. But more than that, we should allow the laws to work and we should apply the laws irrespective of whose us
It's God.
is God.
Very important, because for me, I don't think we have a major challenge for lack of laws, lack of sanctions. We have a lot of them. But what is the capacity of INEC to prosecute electoral offenders? What is even the capacity of the Nigerian police to prosecute electoral offenders? And we know that they come in droves at the end of the day. How many in the past have been prosecuted? These people. So I think the issue is we should strengthen the ability of the law enforcement agencies and those given the powers by the Constitution to prosecute these people. We should enhance their capacity to do it, to apprehend, to investigate, and then to prosecute. It's not just enough to round up a group of young boys and accuse them of vote buying or vote selling, and you get to court and the case is dismissed for lack of diligence prosecution. At the end of the day, we'll be back to square one at the end of the day. So we really need to know what time of day it is. All right, Mr. Sami, let's move on to this story in this day newspaper. In a major diplomatic reset, Senate confirms 64 ambassadors. In a sweeping diplomatic move with far-reaching implications for Nigeria's foreign relations, the Senate on Thursday confirmed 64 nominees as career and non-career ambassadors of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, approving a list featuring prominent political figures, former governors, ex-ministers, and seasoned diplomats. Relatedly, the committee, okay, that's not part of the story. So, but the long and short, Mr. Salami, after the controversy over the inclusion of some names at the end of the day, they were all given a clean bill. And this signals an upsurge in terms of our diplomatic efforts across the world. For those who were accusing the government of not posting diplomats, I think that argument has now been become academic. Now left for the government to fix them at the right places.
Lawrence, I have a different view of what happened at the Senate.
Okay, let's hear.
Is there any need to even screen again?
Why?
Because in a first swoop, out of the 64, none of them is found so all of them are found very, very okay and good to be ambassadors. That is a lie. We all know it. The essence of screening is to use a comb to look at their past. These are people going to foreign countries to represent us. And we know quite many of them with shady characters. And I am not going to malign anybody. What I'm trying to say is that the essence of screening is to ensure that a thorough job is done in such a way that only our best is posted outside to represent us. But if none of them has been found guilty of anything, or all of them have now been found worthy, both in character and
in patriotism. Mrs. Salami, see, these are sometimes, for the mere fact that they were all given clean bill, doesn't mean that the process was not good. Number one, you are not a part of the screening committee, so you can't say. And if you know that some of them have shady past, as a journalist, you can provide such information. As a Nigerian, you can provide such information to security agencies, and they will be very glad. And that's one. Two, if we are to use a comb to go through our public officials, I doubt whether there will be any of them in office today.
Okay,
right
don't
from
let us use a coup.
right from the local government council to the federal level. I doubt whether there'll be one or two that will scale that standard. So, countries get the kind of leaders they deserve.
Lawrence, I'll wait your appointment letter.
From. All right, no further than serious with Mr. Salami now. Abba, there are a lot of things that we can't say on air, but let's just leave it at that. Mr. Salami, remember the Buhari years, the story about that book that was published about the former president? We said it's still generating a lot of reactions. And not surprisingly, one of the prominent members of that regime, and talking about the former aide to the former vice president. We're talking about our senior colleague in the industry, Babafemi Ujudu, an ex-presidential advisor. He came out smoking as counter Charles Omoli's claim about the presidential ambition of former vice president Yemi Osinbajo. In a statement, Ujudu, who served as special advisor to the president on political matters, maintained that Osinbajo discussed his presidential ambition with Buhari on 4 different occasions. He recounted occasions in which Buhari advised Osinbajo and his political ambition, adding that the late president even said the former vice president was by far the best person for the job. He said the former presidential advisor said Osinbajo could not realistically have contemplated a presidential run without the active backing of the former president.
Well, Femi Ujudu is a good friend, and the controversial essays political to the president and former senator is somebody who is eminently qualified to assess or to say one thing or the other on that regime. He was an eminent member, and he played crucial roles in that regime. Well, if we are to do the post-mortem, let us begin, and let it be holistic. But the truth be told, I'm not too sure that a person of Professor Yemi Osinbajo's caliber will throw his heart into the ring without. But like I always say, that we don't have the facts. We were not privy to all that happened. And whatever we say here is in the realm of speculation.
Yeah.
And I don't think speculative journalism is what we should dish out.
Exactly. And for me, I also think that public officers owe Nigerians that duty to always publish their memoirs after office. This way, it will enrich our institutional memory. It will also set records straight. I don't believe in this reacting to somebody's own account. For example, the former vice president, there is no doubt that he's such a brilliant Nigerian. There's nothing stopping him from putting his experience to book,
Maybe
to
he's
paper.
doing it.
Maybe, but the sooner the better. Because I can't even wait to read it. Because
He's one of our best.
He is.
No doubt about that.
I'm telling you.
No doubt about that. And we would need to hear from him in black and white.
Exactly.
Nigeria expects something factual from him. And of course, you know him. We keep on saying some things here that you don't need to like somebody. What is important is concede to him what is. Professor Osinbajo remains one of our best.
Exactly. No doubt about that. All right, before we go, Ms. Salami, let's look at the story. NAFDAC destroys 65 billion naira counterfeit expired product in Kano, Oyo State. NAFDAC has destroyed over 618 tons of fake, counterfeit, and expired drugs and other unwholesome regulated product in Kano and Oyo State. When I see stories like this, Salam, you wonder that if this product had found their way into the market and Nigerians consume, what would be the fate of Nigerians?
Of course, it will have compounded our woes. We have enough on our hand. And that is why we give it to NAFDAC. If not that we are not in the habit of giving awards, we would have said that NAFDAC is our agency of the year. It's doing well.
Exactly, because you see, Mr. Salami, we take a lot of things for granted. The little painkillers we take, the little malaria tablets we stop by at the pharmacy to buy, that's for those who even go to the pharmacy. Some people still in 2025, Mr. Salami, you won't believe it, some educated, exposed Nigerians, well-traveled Nigerians still buy medications inside the buses.
Of course they do.
They still buy medications by the roadside at motor parks. And they swallow those things. And at the end of the day, when things happen, you have liver failure, you say, is that woman in the village? Is that stepmother somewhere? Is that somebody? We take a lot of things for granted. It's festive period now. We buy a lot of drinks. But do you know how many of them are adulterated? It's sad. We need to be very careful where we pick up some of these items.
We need to.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salman Salami. And just like you said, in the spirit of Christmas, I trust my Oga that he's going to do a lot for us in the office today. In fact, the celebration has started already. Thank you in advance, Mr. Salman Salami.
We are waiting for Santa Claus.
All right, it's always a pleasure to have you on the show. Thank you so much, sir. That's our package on the show today. Monday, 7 a.m. It's another time. See you then. My name is Lawrence Omoite. Enjoy the rest of your day.